when is the claim to child support null and void? Child support payments are a legal quagmire, with the reigning issues being whether or not you have to pay, how much and how often do you have to pay, when does your responsibility to pay cease, when do the financial circumstances of a child affect your responsibility to pay, or the amount you contribute, ditto for the behavior of a child towards you, how does the turning to an adult affect your responsibility to pay. All of the above are a matter for a specialized solicitor, who will specify the nature and quantity of the evidence required to prove your case. The collection of evidence is the job for an investigation agency, who by no means are legal advisors. Some point of law regarding child support. When is the demand for child support payments invalidated? 1. For minors, this happens when the child has their own adequate means, or when the parent responsible to pay is in no financial position to do so. In the special case of personal expenses, the amounts a minor is entitled to are not usually revealed to the person actually making the payments. Own income does, as a rule, decrease the amount payable, regardless of whether this income is produced through pay work or personal assets. In the case of pay work, rigid checks should be conducted to ascertain the legality of that activity. E.g., pupils are not required to work in parallel or during their spare time. However, if the income is on a high scale, then there is a leniency in the calculation of the interest on the tax-free amount of the professional expenses. Students are also not required to work, either during term or holidays. Exceptions constitute only cases of compulsory practical or professional training. In cases, however, that the student works during term, then, taking into account the tax-free amount of professional expenses and assuming the parents pay 100 of the support amount, the surplus over living and professional expenses is calculated with leniency, usually meaning a provision of 50. These calculations are a matter for an experienced solicitor. However, a private investigator will collect all the evidence that your children have undisclosed income. Without actual facts, you really have no case. One should be aware that in the case of minors there is no provision for withdrawal of the right to child support, as the child is not required to choose work instead of education. There is also no cancellation of the child support responsibility on the grounds that the child refuses to meet the parents. 2. For adults, when children turn into adults, their right to child support is invalidated when they have their own income. The parent responsible cannot afford payments anymore. The adult child is destitute through its own accord. The adult child is responsible for an intentional offense against the payer, whoever that may be. Naturally, all cases are examined on their own merits, so that the child's reaction is assessed. The rest of the probable scenarios are covered by the case for a minor child. Once again, it cannot be stressed enough that the role of a private investigator is not to procure legal advice. For that, an experienced and specialized solicitor is your source of solid information. Still, both solicitor and private investigator working together as a team will assist you to as much of a positive conclusion as humanly possible.